most of the issues. I just highlight a few concerns of the financial sector. Firstly, today's focus on the capital market. Sukuk is that there is a segment of the private sector participation. It's very little. Equity segment of the market is negligible. The tragedy of Bangladesh.
Hello? Bye.
Usually big projects, new finance needs risk sharing. Risk sharing. You have to buy loan, you have to buy debentures, you have to buy equity. It's going to the bank and just borrowing it, and most of the time diverting the fund. This has been an incident. So from that point of view, we must, I think as I pointed it out, that we must devote our attention to the capital market. Let the private people take the risk. If they get the profit, they're fine. And at the same time, people always expect the private people, they'll put the money somewhere and they'll get a regular income. And they think that banks will do this one. And they'll learn the lesson now. Putting money into the banks and financial institutions. They thought that Adibor for whole life they will get money. Now they're all stuck up. So capital market, of course, you get to raise money with the dividend. And one unfortunate thing I've been observing in the capital market participants, small investors, they think that this is the right and this is the notion that they'll be having perpetual income from the stock market. If the stock market go down, they think that this is the fault of the, first they follow the finance advisor. I often get praises, negative sense. BSCC gets some of the issues. What I'm monitoring is the capital market is not a continuous, indefinite profit. You have to take the risk also. If there is no profit, if the company doesn't work well, definitely you will share the losses. I think one of your responsibilities, especially DSC, to educate people, to make aware, and for the money you are investing, or money you are using to buy shares and not just a permanent income. Gone are the days of permanent income hypothesis. That I buy something, I will give it to you. So this one. Now about the capital market, one thing that we don't have the yield curve. Usually government yield curve goes upward. Usually it goes flat. Theoretically it should be flat. But this is unfortunate. At one time I tried to make a yield curve, but I cannot push it down forcefully. I thought that if I had force, I could predict that yield curve 10 and yield curve horizontal. It's not possible. People expect high rate of income, high rate of interest with the long term. In the long term, they usually get a constant lower income. So this is the problem in our market. Second is about the Sukuk. Now Sukuk is a very potential one. We have about 24,000 crore taka. But those Sukuk what are here are invested in mainly sanitation project, primary education. The return is very good. We had to do that because we didn't have fund. That is the kind of shortcut way of raising money through Sukuk. But Sukuk bond should be the private people, for the private enterprise. They'll invest, they'll earn money, and that will ease the pressure of the banks also. Because if you get the money from the Sukuk market, definitely there will be no pressure, less pressure on the bank. This has not been done yet, but we are trying, and definitely this is one of the good effort on the part of the JLPCs and DSC. I've been, we also knows that there are different standards, different norms. You have mentioned AEI, Islamic Financial Services Board is there, and they're very detailed. That is in Malaysia here. I'm in Malaysia. I had attended some of the meetings and all. So the norms and other things are there, but it should be adapted in Bangladesh situation. With theoretical Sukuk bond should be this, Sukuk bond should be asset-based, asset-backed. Asset should be not fuzzy asset, not like the derivatives. When the asset will be real asset, then the confidence sukuk bond will be higher. Return will be there. Derivative is a kind of fuzzy collateral debt obligation. You know about that, which led to the financial sector debacle in 2007 So, as a good advantage of sukuk is that asset backed, then definitely it will be strong. The return will be also be kind of assured return, and people will be convinced to buy it. That is one thing. Another thing is securitization. Unfortunately, Bangladesh has not done it. I just came from Japan and talked with them about MRT. Some of the new MRT will cost billions of dollars. I was a little worried, and I talked to the finance minister and also the trade minister. They said, why are you not deciding about these MRTs? Then I very politely, it is difficult to say no or to say negative things to the minister of the country. I said that, yes, Mr. Minister, we are reviewing it. The cost is too high. It is, if you compare the cost to the other countries. So we are trying to consider it. But if securitization is done, it could have been much easier for us. Even the existing ones can be securitized. Why not? Why not geography and other things? And that I think is a kind of shortcoming on the part of the government. I remember I was the governor at that time. On the bridge was talked about. I suggested the transport minister, Mr. Nazmul was there, and my friend was Shafi. I said, why don't you go for securitization? Why are you trying to raise funds from World Bank? You just go through SPV, you just securitize it. There are so many people that they would have come forward to securitize because they will be assured with the steady flow of income, told and other. So I don't know, Jamuna was another thing which could have been done. Now we should very seriously think about this. Another thing is about the sukuk bond. There's one sukuk bond, Vixen also, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's a case study. You can study what they did, they have invested in something. And it's very difficult to trace their money also nowadays, it's a classic story. So I think we should be able to be careful also. What was the issue? The issue has to be very careful for which project you are giving. As I told you, the asset and the base and backing of the thing is very important. Of course, I think Mexico is used in some power plants, solar power. I don't know. I don't know about their profitability. So this is one of the case studies. Most of you know, because that's part of the field. You will know about that. Last but not least, some mentions about gratuity fund, pension fund. So the problem with the pension fund, of course, the legal implications we have to change the law and other things. Besides that, there is that this is we call it the public fund. It is the obligation of the government. Public fund means we are custodian. That particular institution is a custodian of the fund. If you just expose it to the market, if you lose all the money, where do you get the money to pay the benefits? Then you will have to beg mercy from the please. I have invested to this and I have lost the money. Please forgive us. That kind of thing. So, no, that has to also done with very carefully. But there is scope for that. So these are some of the things. Also our foreign experts are there. And they are also aware of the capital market. And we don't talk about insurance, but we should talk about insurance market. And it's a mess. We're trying to salvage it. India is trying to do something. But আমাদের দেশে যেটা হলো অর্থায়নের অভাব, আমরা এখানে বসে থাকি সরকারি লোকজন মনে করে সব কিছু দিয়ে দেওয়া যাবে, ডেইলি বলে এই দেন সেই দেন, গাড়ির টাকা দেয়নি। সো স্ট্রং কনস্ট্রেন্ট সবচেয়ে অর্থের সামর্থ্য, যতটা আমার সামর্থ্য ততটা আমরা পাচ্ছি না। ডেফিনেটলি জেনুইন আপনার ডিমান্ড আছে, সেই জন্য আমরা শুধু ট্যাক্স পার্টিকুলার করে চলবে না, ট্যাক্স নন ট্যাক্স রেভিনিউ বা ট্যাক্স রেভিনিউ সেটা আমাদের অনেক লো। সাইডে আমাদের বিশেষ করে প্রাইভেট সেক্টর ইনভেস্টমেন্টের জন্য ব্যাংকের উপর ডিপেন্ড করে চলবে, আমাদের দিতে হবে ক্যাপিটাল অ্যান্ড সাম ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট অফ সুকুক অ্যান্ড আদার স্পেশাল ইনস্ট্রুমেন্ট। এটা না গেলে কিন্তু আমরা যে প্রাইভেট সেক্টরে যারা এখন আছে আমি দেখছি অনেকে ডিমান্ড করছে ব্যাংক থেকে টাকা দেন, আরও ক্যাশ ইনসেন্টিভ দেন, আরও ট্যাক্স কমে দেন। ট্যাক্স কমানোর মধ্যে এমন হতে হবে আমরা তো বেতন না থাকলেও পাবো না, সবাই বলে যে ট্যাক্স কমে দেয়, ট্যাক্স কমে দেয়, ট্যাক্সে দিতে চায় না। সো উই হ্যাভ টু পে ট্যাক্স অ্যাট দ্য সেম টাইম দ্য অল্টারনেটিভ সোর্সেস, অন্যান্য সোর্স থাকতে পারে। কারণ আমাদের চাহিদা কিন্তু অনেক বেশি, এডিপি বলেন, বড় বড় প্রজেক্ট বলেন, সবচেয়ে বেশি বড় চ্যালেঞ্জ আমাদের জন্য এখন যেটা আমি সোশ্যাল সেক্টরে ফাইন্যান্স করতে পারছি, এডুকেশন, হেলথ। এই যে আমিও বলি সুন্দর সুন্দর কথা, স্বাস্থ্য ভালো হওয়া দরকার, স্বাস্থ্য খাতে হাসপাতাল করা, তারপরে এডুকেশন করে, টাকা কোথায়? এই কোরিয়ার দিকে দেখেন, কোরিয়া বলে as good as or as bad as Bangladesh. Just স্বাস্থ্য খাতে 12-14%, থাইল্যান্ডে দেখেন না, এডুকেশন খাতে কত করে 12-14-15%। সো আমরা দিতে পারছি না তাকে, এটা আমার সে মতো। আমরা তো খালি টিচারদের সাথে দোষ দিতে হবে না, পড়াচ্ছে না, এই মাইনে দিয়ে কি পড়াবে, অর্ধ এসে মানে পোকা পেট নিয়ে কত কিছু। তারপর ডাক্তাররা যেসব ডাক্তার আমরা থাকি তারা চেষ্টা করে, তো অতএব একটা কিন্তু ইনসেন্টিভ আছে। একটা জিনিস শেষ করে আমি আমাদের ট্যাক্স রিলিভি রেশিও 7.2, ব্রাজিলের কথা 26% ট্যাক্স রিলিভি রেশিও। আমি তো 26%, কেন 26% দেয়? Because business people, private people are convinced the tax they pay, they get services of it. তাই না? যে টাকাটা ওরা ট্যাক্স দেয় ওটার প্রতিদানে সব সেবা পায়, সরকারের সেবা পায়, বেসরকারি সেবা পায়, লোকজনরা পায়। ওদের ট্যাক্স দেবে না কেন? আমার দেশে এটা আরেকটা জিনিস, আমরা ট্যাক্স দিই সেবাটা দেব, তো লোকজন তো একটু বসে করবি, তাই না? ট্যাক্স দিলাম আমি পাই না, সেটা জন্য আমি প্রায় বলি ট্যাক্স অফিসারদের, এনবিআর অফিসারদের বলছি একটু সেবা দেন, সেবা ভালো দিলে আমরা ট্যাক্স ফিটাও বেশি দেব। আমি বলেছি ভালো সেবা দেবেন, আপনার ফিটাও পাবেন, সেবা দেবেন না তখন ঘোরাবেন, আপনি ফিও বেশি যাবেন, লোকজনকে ঘোরাবেন, সেটা তো সম্ভব না। So we have to have that mentality for the government, the private sector. We have to ultimately it is our paying service to the people. Ultimately, this must pay for any service. Thank you very much.